For the floor. All protocols observed to my colleagues gathered here today for this third CELAC meeting. We thank Your Excellency and the people of Costa Rica for the very warm welcome and excellent arrangements we have received here in Costa Rica. Given time constraints, I would try to summarize the points, and the first would be that in spite of making very significant strides to promote development in our region, we know that our work is far from complete. There have been three major challenges over the past year, in addition to those we already had. And these had to do with the Ebola virus, with the chickpea virus, in addition, the sharp fall in oil prices with their economic impact, and of course, the complex nature of terrorism we are seeing globally. So these three things, I think, really underscores our interconnectedness, and in a way that we must continue to partner with each other for greater productivity in the region and for sustainable development. On a positive note, we welcome the thawing of relations between Cuba and the USA, but we repeat our call for an end to the economic embargo against our sister CELAC nation, and so we endorse some of the comments made by His Excellency President Castro. Our theme for this third CELAC meeting is very appropriate in the face of the global and regional realities we face. Our nations are not immune. Last year, at the CITES conference in Samoa, Trinidad and Tobago joined the international community to highlight poverty eradication as one of the overarching objectives of essential requirements for sustainable development. We stress the importance of transparency and accountability and reducing inequities and inequalities as we committed to just and democratic societies, which are the bedrock of development. Integral to these aspirations must be our continued prioritization of social development, health, NCDs, women, and youth. As we move to a post-2015 development context, it is also significant that the first of the Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the UN General Assembly in 2014 is, and I quote, "end poverty in all its forms everywhere." Today, we are closer to achieving our goals of poverty reduction in the region, a very significant achievement for the CELAC community. For us in Trinidad and Tobago, we remain committed to the CELAC Plan of Action as a framework for cooperation in consonance with our international undertakings. Intra-regional collaboration brings rich dividends, which will be bolstered by our engagement with external partners, as has already begun with China, and potential for future initiatives with the Russian Federation, with India, Turkey, Korea, and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And so, let us recommit to the goals we have set for sustainable development of the region. We stand ready to work alongside our CELAC partners to advance these goals. For ourselves in Trinidad and Tobago, in terms of progress in poverty reduction, we believe that we have made quite a dent with respect to that, especially when we come to the area of education. Since we came into office in 2010, we have sought to advance a better quality and standard of living for every citizen. My own belief and that of my government is education is the key and is a passport out of poverty. Education is indeed a stepping stone to a better quality of life. And therefore, we have aggressively pursued programs and initiatives aimed at advancing all aspects of our education system. So it is that we have achieved early childhood free universal education ahead of our 2015 target date. We have also achieved universal free primary education, and we have achieved universal free secondary level education. At the tertiary level, we have expanded our tertiary level participation from 46% to about 65% in 4 years. Our education is also driven by first-rate tech for education and training, with about 50 programs at community level for training and retraining for low-income persons. We have also introduced the eConnect and Learn eCal program to transform education through the use of cutting-edge information and communications technology. I'm very proud to say one component of this program has been the distribution of laptops to students in our secondary schools, so that today over 95,000 students with their teachers benefit from this initiative over the last 5 years. On the issue of transparency and accountability, we must remember the main topic in particular on your agenda is a good compass for directing our collective efforts, focusing as it does on the fight against poverty, with an emphasis on transparency, accountability, and the fight against corruption. Every dollar that goes into corruption is $1 less that goes to a school or to a child or a mother in need. And so legislation governing proper procurement of government goods and services is critical to combat corruption, to ensure equity and fairness, to promote sustainable development. Trinidad and Tobago has taken strong action, and for the first time, we have passed procurement legislation designed to ensure transparency and accountability in the procurement and disposal of government goods and services. We continue to thrust for greater regional integration, including enhanced partnerships with Latin America, addressing the issue of corruption we see as a priority for us all. On the issue of crime and security, Excellencies, I submit respectfully that if we are to fight poverty and corruption successfully, priority must be placed on matters linked to crime and security. The Global Status Report on Violence Prevention 2014, released January 2015 in Geneva, by WHO, the UNDP, and the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, shows that low and middle income countries in Latin America and the Caribbean have the highest homicide rates of any developing region, as well as the highest proportion of homicides committed with firearms. This report estimates that 3/4 of deaths in Latin America due to homicide were carried out with firearms. Trinidad and Tobago, along with many of our brothers and sisters in CELAC, have some of the highest homicide rates in the world, with small arms as a weapon of choice. And so, because of these cold statistics, we heralded the entry into force on December 24th, 2014, of the United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, the ATT. This treaty marks a triumph for the international community and is a major component in the global fight to eliminate diversion of conventional arms to illicit markets and to end the untold human suffering that is its inevitable consequence. To date, 130 states have signed the treaty, with 61 states depositing their instruments of ratification. Our region, and indeed the global community, is indebted to Mexico, which serves as a provisional secretariat for the Arms Trade Treaty and will host the first meeting of states parties later this year. I take this opportunity to express our deep appreciation to His Excellency President of Mexico and his official for this service to the Global Committee. In preparation for the event in Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago will host the first preparatory meeting towards the first conference of states parties. And today, we look forward to welcoming CELAC colleagues and delegates to Trinidad and Tobago for the hosting of this preparatory meeting. We thank you for your endorsement through the special declaration on this matter to be made at this meeting, which signals the importance which the entire region of Latin America and the Caribbean assigns to this matter of the Arms Trade Treaty and the proliferation of small arms, and to our thrust together in partnership to stem the tide of the trade in small arms, which acts to the detriment of our nations. As I've said, in our countries, it is not large weapons of mass destruction which pose the greatest challenge to citizen security. It is indeed the small arm. And so the Arms Trade Treaty is of vital importance for us all in the region. So we acknowledge the principle of equitable geographical distribution of international agencies in which we all have a stake, and therefore welcome the special declaration in this regard which will be made. In conclusion, Mr. President, Excellencies all, colleagues of the CELAC, as leaders, I implore that we work together to build on the progress we have made in reducing poverty in the region. We have an opportunity to make a positive impact on the lives of millions of people throughout Latin America and the Caribbean through the CELAC Action Plan for 2015. In concluding, I congratulate Costa Rica on your stewardship as chair of our CELAC, and of course welcome Ecuador as they guide our actions for the next year. Know that you will continue to have the support, the fullest support of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you very much.